All right, let's talk about something that's super important but we don't always think about. Your privacy on YouTube. Today, we're basically building your personal defense plan, a handbook for how you can take control of your identity on one of the biggest platforms in the world. So let's dive right in.
I want you to just think about this for a second. Imagine you're just scrolling, minding your own business, and bam, there you are. In a video you never knew was taken, never gave permission for. It's a horrible feeling, right? And that's exactly why knowing your rights and the tools you have is so crucial.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at what's actually at risk. Then, the good part, how you can fight back. We'll also tackle the new, kind of scary world of AI fakes. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the rules and exceptions you need to know. And we'll wrap it all up with a proactive safety plan so you can stay ahead of the game. Okay, first up, understanding what we're actually trying to protect here. When YouTube talks about a privacy violation, they're not being vague. They mean specific, sensitive information that, if it gets out, could put you in some real trouble.
We're talking about the serious stuff, your phone number, your home address, your email, even your bank details. If any of this stuff shows up in a video, that's not just a small oopsie. It's a direct violation of YouTube's policies, and it gives you the power to do something about it.
Which brings us to the most important question, right? What do you actually do? Well, the good news is you're not helpless. YouTube has a really clear process for you to take back control, and we're going to walk through it step by step.
So let's imagine a really common scenario. Let's say someone is vlogging an office tour and they pan across a desk, and for a split second, a document with your full name and phone number is right there on screen. That, my friends, is a classic privacy breach. So what's the official playbook? It's a simple two-step process. Step 1. YouTube actually recommends you contact the person who uploaded the video first. A lot of times, it's a genuine mistake, and this is the fastest way to get it fixed. But if they don't respond, or they refuse, or you're just not comfortable reaching out, you go straight to step 2. You file an official privacy complaint directly with YouTube.
But what about a different kind of problem? Maybe it's not your data, but it's your actual image. You know, a friend posts a video from a private get-together, something you absolutely did not agree to have blasted out to the world. Well, you have a right to privacy in those moments, too.
And guess what? The solution is exactly the same. See the pattern here? Whether it's your personal data or your face in a video, the process doesn't change. Try the uploader first. If that doesn't work, you escalate it to YouTube with a formal complaint. This two-step approach is your go-to tool. Of course, the internet never stands still. The threats are always evolving. So now we have to talk about the new frontier of privacy problems, AI-generated fakes. This is a whole different ballgame, and YouTube is taking it very seriously, with its own specific rules. So what are we even talking about here? Synthetic content is just the official term for media where AI has been used to create a realistic but totally fake version of you. Think of those deepfake videos that put someone's face on another person's body, or an audio clip that perfectly mimics your voice saying things you've never, ever said. But it's not as simple as all AI fakes get removed. There's a lot of gray area. YouTube has this whole checklist they go through. You know, is it so realistic it could actually fool someone? Does the creator admit that it's fake? Is it clearly just a joke or a parody? And maybe most importantly, does it show you doing something sensitive, like pretending you're endorsing a product or, worse, committing a crime? Let me give you a really clear example. If someone creates a realistic AI video of you promoting some sketchy investment scam, that's a serious impersonation, and you can absolutely get that taken down. But if it's a goofy, over-the-top parody that nobody would ever believe is real, it'll probably be allowed to stay up under satire rules. Okay, so you know the basic process. But like with anything important, there's some fine print. There are a few key details and exceptions you really need to know before you file a complaint. Understanding these will give you a much better idea of whether your complaint is likely to work.
There are two really big rules to remember. First, who can file the complaint? It has to be you, the person in the video, or your official legal representative. A friend can't do it for you. And second, you have to be clearly and uniquely identifiable. You know, a blurry shot of you in a massive crowd probably isn't going to cut it.
And what exactly does YouTube consider identifiable? It's pretty much what you'd expect. Your face, your voice, seeing your full name on screen, or any of those financial or contact details we talked about earlier. If any of those are in the video, you've got a really solid case. Now, here's the biggest exception, the one you really need to be aware of. If content is considered newsworthy or in the public interest, it might be allowed to stay up.
So, for example, if you're filmed at a public protest and that footage ends up in a news report, a privacy complaint probably won't get it removed.
YouTube's policies also have a special consideration for protecting the dignity of people who are no longer with us. In these very sensitive situations, the closest family members or legal reps can file for removal, but they will need to provide some form of proof, like a death certificate.
Okay, we've spent a lot of time talking about playing defense, how to react when something bad has already happened. But you know what they say? The best defense is a good offense. So, let's wrap this up by building a proactive safety plan, your own digital fortress to keep these problems from happening in the first place.
Honestly, it starts with the simple stuff. Just being mindful. Be really careful about what you share. Think twice before posting your home address, your school, or the coffee shop you go to every single day. And just as important, give others that same respect. Always get consent before you start filming someone else.
Next, let's lock down the technical stuff. This is non-negotiable. Your password is for you and you alone. And honestly, the single best thing you can do for your account security is to turn on two-step verification. It's a lifesaver. And finally, just make it a habit to pop into your privacy settings every few months to make sure everything looks right.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. That was a lot of information, I know. So let's boil it all down into one final action plan. The absolute key takeaways you need to remember from all this. Here it is, your privacy checklist. Number 1, always try contacting the uploader first. Number 2, if that doesn't work, don't hesitate to use the formal privacy complaint process. Number 3, remember you have specific protections against realistic AI impersonations. And number 4, and maybe the most important, be proactive and keep your account locked down. So that's it. You now have the handbook, you have the tools to protect your identity and your story online. The power really is in your hands. The only question left is, how are you going to use it? Thanks for sticking with me.